Welcome to our demonstration of the Genius Insight. It's my pleasure to be with you. I'm one of the lead trainers for the Genius Insight, and I'm really excited to be with you today. We're talking today about what the Genius Insight is, what it can do, and how it can help you to change your life. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm located in Portland, Oregon, and I'm really happy to be with you for the next hour. I can take any of your questions that you have, and I certainly appreciate your referrals. So if you're thinking about sending a referral for the Genius, I certainly do appreciate it, and we do compensate you for that. So this might be a nice introduction for that person you're thinking about introducing to a Genius Insight. A bioresonance device is for assessing frequency and comparing it to other frequency. So we assess the frequency through the voice and through the picture. I've actually already uploaded, I've actually put my mom in here today. So I've put my mother's picture in, and also I put in her name, her date of birth, and I actually just played a voicemail that she left for me, and I did that as my recording. Very simple, and I have her permission to work on her. I do so on a regular basis to help her and just make sure everything's going along okay. So I took care of all of that, and what bioresonance is, again, is assessing frequency. We assess frequency through the voice and the picture, and then we compare it to other frequencies. Based on the comparison of those two frequencies, it pops out a number. And we're looking at numbers that are above 600 or below about 150, and I'm going to be talking about that. So it's going to tell us information about vitamins, minerals, amino acids from an energetic perspective. We don't really consider these to be diagnostic, but we do notice that they match very closely with different labs that are out there. And I'm going to be talking to you more about this. I also just want to make you aware of a few things. First of all, the main website, and I'm just going to be sending you a link for the Quantum Genius, is there's two websites. There's my website, which is awakentotalhealth.com, and I'm a distributor of the Quantum Genius, but I didn't create it. So if you want the best deal from me and you want my customer support, you go to my website. The website that also talks about this program, which is by the developer, is quantumhealthapps.com. So I'm a distributor. I'm sort of like Best Buy is to Apple. I'm representing, teaching you about it, helping you with selecting your package, and I'm here after that to support you with weekly calls, updates, and to answer your questions. And most of you who are on here know that when you call me, I typically answer the phone, or I will return your call, or I will return your email rather quickly, because it is quite important to me to assist you. Okay, so this is a bioresonance device that helps to empower you and helps to really make a difference in your life through the comparison of these frequencies. It's an energetic investigation that informs you about developing issues, about things you can do for maintenance, and it gives you one of the fastest and most empowering ways to help yourself, which is through balancing yourself with these frequencies. Let's go ahead and let's do our energetic signature in here. For my mother, a good one for her is joy, although she is often a very joyful person these days. So I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to start the analysis. The analysis happens in a lightning flash. It happens in seconds, and we've gone through a number of different frequencies. And we're asking now for the mind, body, or biofield, which is the priority of these three. And in this case, it is the mind, but it doesn't mean there aren't things to be discovered in the body. So I just want to make this really relatable. So for now, I'm going to go and look at things in the body, just so we can talk about things that are easily relatable. So right here in the body, we've got amino acids, chemical sensitivities, current infections, digestion, electrical sensitivities, and a whole bunch more. So let's do a quick check here. I find that for many people, they really enjoy the vitamins and minerals. It really opens up a world to them that's very relatable. So wouldn't you like to be able to check your vitamins and minerals every day? It's silly that we haven't been able to do this before and talk about it, because it can make such a profound difference. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to tap this button right here, which turns off that animation, because for some people, including myself, it feels a bit distracting, but it is a very beautiful animation to see when you're using the program. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick vitamin check, okay? So again, in seconds, I very easily access this through Begin Analysis. You can do this live with someone. You could do it long distance, as I'm doing for my mother. Again, I'm going to tap this button right here. It's going to switch off that animation. Oops, all right, so it switched it off. So right away, you have I always say it's the top 3 and the bottom 3. So the easiest way to work here is to balance vitamin A choline, and I have told Ryan about this. He's actually duplicated. Choline needs to be removed. Okay, so she really needs choline, and you can see how closely, it's interesting since these are repeats, how closely they align each other. So vitamin B4 is choline, so this should be removed. Then vitamin B1, by the way, my mother's in her 70s, so this is a very common vitamin for people who are sort of over 60, 65, and this is why we see some of the supplements out there like water-soluble benfotiamine, which is a form of vitamin B1, very important for cognitive function. So B vitamin is certainly in order, and vitamin A in the form of beta-carotene or maybe some cod liver oil may be also called for as well. Now I talk about the top 3 and the bottom 3, and this is for a balancing technique I call 1-minute balancing. So what do? Do you run out and take vitamin A and choline, which is, you can get it in lecithin, and vitamin B1? You can choose to do that, but for bioresonance and biofeedback, you want to learn to use the frequencies. So we basically go pull this frequency, vitamin A, with our finger. We let our finger rest here. We pull it up and we balance it. We set the little yellow ball here. We pull it to the left until it goes to 1 minute, and we balance for 1 minute. So we're going to balance that vitamin A for 1 minute. Let's hear it at a low level. What you're hearing now is the energy encoded process, the really powerful frequencies that our developer has come up with. You're also experiencing the binaural beat technology, the overlay of the binaural beat technology, particularly when you listen to this with a stereo headphone, so a good set of headphones that has stereo on it. It's going to play one frequency in the left ear and a slightly out of phase other frequency in the right ear. It's going to create an entirely new frequency in the brain, one which tends to profoundly balance the brain, and this in turn helps you to really assimilate the frequencies in a powerful way. The whole idea of bioresonance is that you are exposing yourself to frequencies and they are influencing you in some way. So you can be around really peaceful classical music or delicious jazz, and not only is the sound is beautiful, but just the frequency or the vibration of that sort of makes you feel good. In a way, that's an application of bioresonance. And so you're exposing yourself, you're allowing your energy field to be exposed to these frequencies, which then becomes entrained into your field. You align yourself with that which is needed. So that which is out of balance for this person, for my mother here, is vitamin A. So we're in training, we're aligning with the frequency of vitamin A. When you really think about it, when you take a supplement, a vitamin, or even eat a food, ultimately you want that food, vitamin, supplement, herb to translate in your body to a frequency. So this is really what we're doing. We're applying the pure frequency. Does it mean if you see this you shouldn't go out and start having some squash or some cod liver oil or making sure you're getting vitamin A or beta-carotene? Not at all. Those things would be a good idea, but remember the power of bioresonance. So then we're going to take that one out. We're going to go to the next one. We're going to do that one for a minute. Okay, a little bit of a different tone there. Kind of interesting. Okay, and we're going to stop that when we take it out. Then we're going to skip the second one because it's a repetitive frequency. We're going to go to vitamin B1. So it goes very fast, 1 minute, 1 minute. We're listening through the headphones. You can have your feet up. You can be relaxing. Welcome everyone who's joined us. Welcome Annette, welcome Caroline, welcome Sally, welcome Suzanne. A lot of you are already users, but you're absolutely welcome to ask your questions. And those of you who are interested in here for the demo, we warmly welcome you and appreciate your questions and comments as well. So we simply do that for a minute, then we eliminate that. At the same time, everything that we've balanced up in the quick zap, we want to place it now down into our main hold tray, because after we've done our 1 minute balancing, we would like to then look at that in our progressive insights. So at this juncture, we actually look at all of the items which are above, and I'm going to switch this a little bit for people who have been listening to me, above 600. 600. In other words, I'm going to include everything that is here in the red. So I'm going to put that into my main hold tray because I'm going to have every opportunity to re-look at it. I'm not really balancing it here until I bring it into my progressive insights. Now, I'm going to go all the way down to the lowest low, and interestingly enough, now my mother does have a very strong supplement regimen due to all of the things that I send to her. So actually she's looking very good in these lower vitamins, which is amazing. So we actually don't need to balance anything. We would balance normally things that are in blue. We'll relook at this again when we go to minerals so we can just see the process one more time. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit the play button. Before I do, I want to make sure I set the time that I want. So I have to set the time here in this screen. So I could say maybe I want a 4 minute balancing or 3. I really like working in threes, 3, 6, 9, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute for a total of 3 on the top and a total of 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to close the tray by tapping to the bottom left over here. I'm going to hit the play button here, and then I go into my progressive insights. Extremely exciting because we're able to ask the question again, are we getting it right? And so we keep increasing our level of certainty that yes, we're working on the right thing. So I'm going to begin my analysis, and now I'm going to say of all the things that I've looked at, what remains important? And this is both cognitive, we can sort of think about this, and just for balancing, these are the things that are going to have the most high value balancing. Now remember, we've set the timer for 3 minutes. So we can go all the way down, we can see vitamin B5, B1, interestingly enough, now it's not as much of a priority. But what is very important here is vitamin C. And you guys, after what I've seen from using bioresonance now for almost 4 years, you can almost bet your bottom dollar that the person really does physically need these things. Although we talk about them for the energy field and that's all we make claims about, it almost is inevitable that these are, you think about vitamin C and vitamin A, they're very strong antioxidants. So it looks like she really needs to redouble her effort on the antioxidants. Biotin, very, very good for hair, skin, and nails. Something she's always calling me and telling me, my nails are so soft, what do I do? What do I do about this? So it makes sense, although there are other reasons that could be the case. What I like to do is I like to get right to the point of things. So normally, if I had actually left these checked, then when I hit play, it will go through a cycle where it will give a much higher weighted priority to biotin, vitamin A, and vitamin C. But I'm finding that what I want to really just get right to the point. So I'm just going to uncheck these items. I actually want to have this person entrain the highest priority frequencies for them and really focus on these. So for 3 minutes, I'm going to focus on these. Very interesting, wonderful, reverberating frequency with that nice binaural beat. Even though we can't hear binaural beat technology as well without our headphones right now, it's interesting. I always feel better after I hear those tones, and there is a lot that's woven into binaural beat technology that really is about improved mood and better brain function. So I'm not sure what I'm picking up on there, maybe the potential for those to be awesome. And there's other encoded technologies in there besides just binaural beat, which may also be uplifting the mood. So if someone listens without the stereo headphones, not all is lost. There's still a lot going on there with the energy encoded process in the frequencies. This is a brainchild of not only Ryan Williams, which is the developer of the Quantum Infinity, but also Garnet I'm going to get his name wrong, Dupre. And he's really one of the big giants of thinking from this resonance technology. And he's the one who did the Emotional Insights app, if any of you have ever gotten that. A very, very powerful app which tells you what's going on with you emotionally. If you've never heard of that one, just go ahead and shoot an email to me and I can do a demonstration with you. So again, we play this for 3 minutes, and that can be done. That can be it. We can be completely done. So a session from beginning to end takes just a few minutes. 3 minutes on the top, 3 minutes on the bottom, 3 minutes in progressive insights. So 9 minutes total, and then the vitamins balancing, or the vitamin balancing, is done. And you guys just remember, everything that you do energetically touches every other part of your being. So if you just go and focus on one thing, vitamins, minerals, whatever it might be, it is very powerful and very potent. You don't necessarily need to sit and balance everything all day. So try to think about this from a 9-minute-a-day perspective, whether you're doing it for yourself or doing it for a client. You may want to do a longer session, but just remember how powerful 9 minutes is. So let's do the same thing now, and I certainly can take your questions. We're just going to do one more here in minerals, then we're going to talk about some other aspects of the program. And you can see minerals here is very low. I didn't look at it initially because I just knew I was going to do vitamins and minerals. So I'm going to tap on minerals. We'll go ahead and we will look at what's going on here. We've got calcium, gold, and chromium. Now, you guys who are practitioners, I'll take your ideas on this. I'm going to ask Ryan to actually remove gold. He may not. I don't know why gold is on this. This should be the trace minerals that are necessary for human beings. I don't know why silver is on here. I don't know why arsenic and nickel is on here. This should be nutritional minerals. So if you guys have any other thoughts about that, then let me know. If it's silver and gold you want for like a tonic purpose, it really should be on another category, but I'm going to talk to him about it. Nonetheless, calcium, that's very good to know. Now, what's usually happening with calcium is not that the person is not it's not that they're not taking it in, it's that they're not absorbing it. And I suspect that my mother's stomach acid is also quite deficient. So I'm going to skip the gold thing, and then we'd go over to chromium. This is, of course, all about blood sugar. Again, none of these things is a surprise based on what I know about her. So it all makes sense to me. And just these minerals, selenium and silica, they're just so across the board deficient for pretty much anybody over the age of 40. So we've got this one. It just seems, I'm just finding people are so deficient in selenium. It's one of the #1 minerals that comes up for most of the people that I check. So you get the idea. We do the 1 minute, 1 minute. We remove that from the tray, and then we make sure that everything else goes down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to skip the gold. I'm going to get selenium. I'm going to get silica. I'm going to skip the silver. I'm going to go to molybdenum, get that, because I'm going to do everything over 600, and then I'm going to do everything under 150. So again, I don't think arsenic should be on here, though this could be an arsenic exposure from the water, even in the groundwater. Magnesium, extremely common. She does have osteopenia, so you see the magnesium and calcium is not being absorbed properly. Okay. And the iron probably is low, so she probably has iron. You guys, a lot of the iron deficiency is sort of a stomach acid absorption issue, and also that there could be, often if there's a parasite. So if you do see iron low, then often think about it as that you should check microorganisms and for parasites. So yeah, so if you have questions, certainly, let me know. So now what we do is we go to the progressive insights. It's already set for the 3 minutes. So I go right to the 3-minute mark here, and I hit the progressive insights again. So now it's going to tell me of all of the things that were down below there, what is most important. Now I could have eliminated actually all the vitamins. So maybe let's go back and do that. I could have just X'd out the vitamins, so I can just do that as the comparison. So let's just eliminate those, and let's go to the main hold tray here, and let's take a look at them. So let's go ahead and eliminate the vitamin A, the vitamin B1, the B5, the choline. All right, are you guys finding sometimes a little bit, these are not eliminating very easily, so we want to definitely rectify that. We are doing a lot of really great updates, so I'm just going to leave them in, and let's try the progressive insights one more time. I just really wanted to drill down that just the minerals. So it's interesting that the arsenic is high. That makes me think that it's a toxicity, not a deficiency, and that actually it is quite important. So we've got magnesium again. It's interesting because the calcium is now low, you guys, and that's kind of fascinating. They did some studies where they showed, they tried to increase women's bone density with just calcium, and it really didn't budge. As soon as they added in magnesium, it went up markedly. So that's just an interesting finding. Oops, oh, I don't know what happened there. Okay. Got a couple of weird things going on in the webinar. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and uncheck these and uncheck them, uncheck them, uncheck them, uncheck them, and then we can just play this in the webinar. And we're just getting then the top frequencies. In fact, it's probably doing detoxification here of arsenic, but also giving the resonance for magnesium that we need, as well as the biotin. So again, you're going to be doing 1 minute, 1 minute at the top, 1 minute, 1 minute at 1 minute at the bottom. And as this is going on, if you know about nutrition, it's telling you a story. And if you don't know about nutrition, learn about it. Take that opportunity when you're seeing things that are high and low to look them up and start investigating about them and really start learning about them. So that could easily be your tonification for the day. To tonify yourself and to really tune yourself up is to just do vitamins and minerals. Extra bonus would be adding in some amino acids. So let's go ahead and do the amino acids. Okay. And we've got those amino acids there. We can put them down in the hold tray, and then we can balance them. So I think histidine is interesting to see that one. I often think with the histidine being out of balance that it may be an allergic reaction, why we see that histidine out of balance. Glutamic acid can be like for glutamine. That may be the issue. They may need more glutamine, so we can do the one balance. I'm sorry, we just do 1, 1, and 1. And then proline and arginine. I do think arginine is really important. Okay, because of circulation. It's really funny that this comes up because I've been really thinking about arginine for people who are sort of, over 40 or 50 because of the need for circulation. So things that are really good for people for circulation to lower blood pressure, to keep circulation going, would be arginine, coenzyme Q10, and alpha-lipoic acid. That's sort of a holy trinity. The arginine, the CoQ10, and the alpha-lipoic acid. Those are things you would definitely want to look at. All right, so we've got a comment here, and question, arsenic, it will show up on my hair analysis, toxicity, perhaps it makes sense to balance it in hopes of lowering toxicity. Yeah, Elise, I totally agree with you. And it's funny because I think I synchronistically sort of said that probably just when you wrote that note. So yeah, I mean, what's happened with the arsenic is it can be industrial exposure. And there was a lot of monkey business that went on with those limits, with those maximum limits from industry, something like 10, 15 years ago, and they've sort of tightened it up now. But for sure, arsenic is in the groundwater widely, and we do see it in the hair analysis for people in the Pacific Northwest pretty frequently. I just don't think it belongs in this particular panel or in the minerals panel. I think it belongs in a heavy metals panel. So that's what I'm saying. Also, I like the scalar silver and a mineral called gold, so I have to wonder if that's why it's included. Yes, but again, I think it shouldn't be in a minerals, like people are looking for the minerals that they need. But anyway, we could go back and forth on that. It just doesn't make the natural sense to me as a naturopath, but I'm sort of always trying to reorganize and sort of put things into different categories essentially. But we've had a very nice balancing of going, again, 1 minute up in the quick zap, we take it out. We put histidine up in the quick zap, we balance for a minute, we take it out. Glutamic acid goes in the quick zap for a minute, we take it out. We put all of the items that are over 600 down in the main hold tray, as we saw before, and all the ones down below here, right? We put them in the main hold tray, and then we go into progressive insights. And we can drill down all of our information, or we could eliminate everything except for the amino acids, and then we could ask again, of all of the things that we've worked on, what is really the most important? And again, I'm tending to just really enjoy just eliminating these, which is a great option. You're just simply unchecking the boxes, and I'm able to perform my resonance whether I want to imprint into water or if I just want to run these. And also just I get the communication that vitamin E, molybdenum, selenium, magnesium, and chromium are at the top of the heap, that they're really important to focus on. And I see a whole bunch of antioxidants here. So I just get that information, but also I'm able to do the resonance balancing on it. And we can talk about what some of these settings are that are generating these frequencies. So Elise says, oh yes, perfect. And Kelly says, my arsenic has been chronic. At 20, after 2 months in Wisconsin on well water, it totally balanced. I wonder if San Diego is high arsenic. I would not be surprised. And so I would definitely keep testing yourself as you've returned. That's really interesting. I'm glad it balanced out on well water. So keep an eye on it, Kelly, and I'm glad that you're using resonance to basically to check in and keep an eye on it and see what's going on. So I think the developer of the program has just joined us. Ryan is here. Ryan, I don't know how your connection is. If you want to let me know, if you'd like to let the listeners know anything about the program or your thoughts behind the design, we certainly would love to hear from you. We've gone through a demonstration of using the program in a couple of different areas, including vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. And also, if any of you have questions, can bring those questions in. We have other panels that we have not had a chance to look at. We have in here, we can look at what herbs are needed, what today's particular stressors are out of all of the different conditions. We can go through and we can check all the different organs. In fact, this is a really good one to do. And often if we start with nutrition, we can sort of relate it to some of the organ stuff that is coming up as well. So Annette says here, Can we use water in my area to test for arsenic? Perhaps make the tap water for the client? I'm not really sure what's going on there, but yeah, I've shown before how to use resonance to test water, and certainly the Genius Insight is no different. So you certainly could try that, and by putting positive impressions into water, like your solfeggio frequencies or sacred geometry, it can help to change the energetic impression of the water, and perhaps negate some of those negative frequencies that are representing the arsenic toxicity. So here we've got heart. Now, how does heart relate to what we've been talking about? So again, we're going to get heart, and we're going to eliminate the alanine. We're going to balance the heart for 1 minute. So let me get that back up there. And then we're going to close that balance for a minute. So how does the heart relate to some of the nutritional findings that we found? Well, we saw arginine was out of balance, and the arginine is great for the circulation of the heart. There's that great energy-encoded process and the binaural beat technology. So again, you guys kind of got the hang of it now. We're going to go 1 minute up there with lungs. We're going to go 1 minute up there with the stomach, and then we're going to incorporate everything that is over 600. Now, will you notice here that when we go from spleen to kidneys, it changes color, right? Or from kidneys to spleen. So everything here that is in red is of interest, and we certainly want to bring it down into our main hold tray, where we will drill that information down again. So kidneys, these are really important things to balance, and we do want to see that this balancing makes a difference. Okay, and then we're going to balance the thyroid and the brain. We're going to do the 3 lower ones. So, and I would probably include the liver as well. I would put the liver up in the quick zap and balance that for a minute. Even though it's 171, it's borderline enough close to 150 that I would want to balance it. And then once again, we're going to hear from Ryan in just a moment. Once again, I would go into progressive insights, and then again, we drill it down. So what do you guys notice? What do you guys see? Is that, look, vitamin C is still at the top of the heap. Vitamin C is really, really important for balancing. We want to balance that bioresonance. We probably want to impress it into water, imprint it in whatever way that we choose to do it. And we want it, that arsenic toxicity looks like the real deal. That looks important. Then the chromium for blood sugar, glutamic acid, probably glutamine for the gut. And we see the stomach right below, sort of confirming what we're thinking about the gut and digestion and so forth. So again, I'm not going to waste my time on any of these because I want to spend my time really efficiently. So I'm going to use all of this, just uncheck it, and I'm going to really focus on those high frequencies and get a wonderful, very effective, efficient balancing, and you really get just down to the nitty and the gritty, like what's the most important, and that's what you really want when you're balancing with bio. Let's take a moment to hear from Ryan, the developer of the program, and hear some of his thoughts behind the program. It's really, really fortunate to be able to hear from him. Hey, Ryan, how are you doing today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. How are you?
I'm actually really good. And you know what? I heard so many of you talking about, water, etc., etc. So if you don't mind, if you certainly don't mind me pushing my luck, those of you that do not have a copy of the Water Harmonizer app, go ahead and email Ariel and say, Ariel, I want the app for the Water Harmonizer. And Ariel, if you don't mind, I'll just send you the iOS and then the Android link.
Absolutely.
And for those of you that do not have the Android or the iOS link for the Water Harmonizer, please do yourself go ahead and actually download the app. Special gift to you from Quantum Health app. From Quantum Health apps. It's a great app. It's really cool. However, with that said, just to be clear, the Water Harmonizer app, it does not actually, it doesn't sort of mitigate any harmful contaminants like chlorine or whatever it is that you may have in the water. What it does, it actually restructures the water molecules. So in other words, the way the Water Harmonizer app works, it generates, obviously the solfeggio and then kaleidoscopic fractal images as a 3D animation. And what that does, it actually helps to restructure the water. But I really want to be clear with all of you, it is not going to mitigate, any chlorine or any sort of substance in the water. But what it will do, it'll help to actually break down the water and to create a sort of a better molecular structure that is much easier for your body to assimilate.
So anybody listening can get that for free, which is exciting. Yeah, that's very generous of you. That's very kind, Ryan.
You know what? Absolutely. I mean, everyone needs to have that. It's a great app, and I would, it's a great product. When you go to a restaurant and you order you order some water, please don't feel like you are being, way out of the way by placing your cup of water on your iPhone for 3 minutes. There's no harm in that. I can guarantee you. Share it with everyone, please. I really do urge you. And then the second thing I actually wanted to suggest is, I understand, in terms of looking at the data and looking at the results, I think, the most important thing for you that I would like to suggest is always relate the information back to the clinical context of the client. I'm going to be real candid with you. The technology that we've built, it is not 100% accurate. If it was 100% accurate, I swear I'd be really happy, and we'd be living in, I don't know where I don't know where we'd be living in. But the bottom line is, what this technology is doing, it's giving you a set of probabilities. It's giving you a set of ideas to basically explore. So be very careful when you take the like the high items or the high items. My advice to you is to look at those high items or equally those low items and relate it to the clinical context of the client. Because, invariably, the technology is going to throw out some false positives. In other words, it's going to throw out some items that look really high, and you're going to look at and say, oh my gosh, this is what we need to focus on. But the reality is, we are going to have some sort of deviances. We are going to have some variations. So please, take the data that you have, look at it in terms of the clinical context of the client. Look at it in terms of the symptomology. If they are giving you, sort of various symptoms that they are suffering from or various ailments that they want to address, always bear that in mind. And in many ways, that is why we created, that the sort of client records page. First and foremost, the client records page where you enter in the symptoms, etc. It doesn't impact the readings in any way whatsoever. But the reason why we created that was to try to give you a sort of initial window into what your client is currently experiencing. So by going through those sort of check boxes and entering in their various symptoms, it'll help you understand what you need to focus on for the client. So my suggestion or my request or whatever it may be is just bear that in mind. And as you're going through the panels, as those items come up that are super high, that are super low, look at those items and then relate it back to their symptomology. Like Ariel was saying, first and foremost, and I totally agree with this, drag the items that you are certain about and even the items that you are uncertain about down into the main whole tray. Because once you've got all of those items, whenever you want, you can have a look at that and then say, okay, this is where we are. This is the global picture. And then you can begin to look at them and say, well, hang on. This doesn't make sense. Remove. This makes sense. This makes sense. And then once you've got a really good, solid picture about your client, you do the progressive insights, and then you can see the weighting factor. It'll tell you, how important this item is in retrospect to the other item, and then you can go ahead with the balancing. So that's my sort of 2 cents. But Ariel, I got to tell you, I mean, as much as what we've sort of built the app, and the app is, it's out and it's great and everything else, your ability to sort of condense the information and formulate a picture and everything else is just absolutely incredible. And, for those of you that are on the call, I just want to tell you, it's just, this app is how do I say it? This app is not, it's not my app, it's not your app, it's not, it's really a mind of everyone actually contributing. And as much as what we can get the formulas down and the algorithms down and the results and the graphics and all that other, all that other sort of weird stuff, it takes the individuals like yourself out in the field, and certainly Ariel, to look at this information and find ways to actually make it work and to sort of move it and to help you understand the data. And gosh, I can't tell you guys, it's incredible to see the way this is sort of merging, and it's sort of such an organic process. It's just great. So Ariel, you know what? Thank you for those of you out in the field. Blessings to you. And honestly, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, bugs, by all means, certainly get in touch with me, and we'll do our best to be able to address them. But Ariel, thank you so much. This is a heartfelt thank you, for sure.
Oh, Ryan, thank you. And thank you for being on the call today. And I do have a real quick question for you. Is there any way to make the water harmonizer loop, like just an eternal loop where it will keep going through those images?
Yes, I'll tell you what. If I will actually gladly do that. Can we set some kind of some sort? If five people do, I'll tell you what. If 5 people do something, then I will do that. Because to me, that's a good exchange of sort of energy.
Sure.
So if five people email you and say, Ariel, I want the harmonizer. If you can confirm that with me, then I will make sure that it actually runs on the loop. How does that sound?
Okay. Yeah, that's exciting. Maybe everybody here, in good spirit, can maybe send a testimonial to us about their experience of the Genius, and that would really help us. So maybe with your request, if you've used the Genius for a little while, you could just send a testimonial, and if we could just have permission to use maybe your initials or your first initial and last name, and we could post that to the website, that would be really helpful for us. Is that okay, Ryan?
Oh, you know what? That's great idea, and thank you so much. And for those of you that that would like to contribute in that manner, thank you so much. Absolutely.
And Ryan, while I have you here, I do want to sort of pick your brain just a little bit. Can you I don't know why I'm not getting it, and I do want to get it so I can train about it better. Can you tell us a little bit about the energy encoded process? That's the one piece that I'm just not as confident about, this difference between the stacked soliton and when you set it on energy encoded, and how that really is something that's very, very special about what you've come up with here.
Do you mind if I should just say no, and if I give a commitment that tonight I will upload the document and you can all read the document, and hopefully it'll explain. I don't mean to dismiss you. I agree. It's super important, and really I think if you hear the frequencies, it's very different. It's a nice, like, sort of mellow
that's
tone,
I think what makes it so beautiful.
I have the document, and you know what? I guarantee you, regardless tonight, I will have it uploaded, and I will make it available to everyone.
Will you possibly send it to me first, or you can send it to everyone? I just wanted to sort of do a little translation and sort of get some information from you based on it. And I know you sent it to me, but I think it's buried a bit. But anyway, you could send it to everyone. You know what? I think the energy encoded process is something that when we sort of drill that information down that you're going to send to me, and eventually we'll get to everybody, that there is something very, very special in the energy encoded process that changes the energy field in a profound way. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the bottom line that we're looking at is when we're dealing with the soliton waves, the harmonic waves, etc., what we're doing is that we're dealing with the body in a sort of very sort of physical sense. We've got a series of different frequencies. We are generating those frequencies. We are stimulating the body with those frequencies. But the energy encoded process, it's not really dealing with frequencies. It's actually dealing with a sort of non-verbal communication. Absolutely. I know I've actually said this before, but a prime example is, any of you that have a kid, if you get angry with your kid, it takes a change in tone in your voice for your kid to realize, you know what, I've actually overstepped my boundary. And in the same way, we have taken that kind of information and we've converted it to these sort of mathematical algorithms that we are communicating with the body in a, in a sort of nonverbal way. We are not saying, 256 hertz and 356 hertz. We are communicating with the body in a completely new, different paradigm. And I'll be candid with you. It's still very new. It's still very new research that we've done, and really the best result is, is obviously getting feedback from everyone that is on this call. But it's my opinion that that energy encoded process is really exciting, and I think the results that you will experience is going to be pretty profound for sure.
Yeah, Brian, I'm really glad you said that. It reminds me of sort of the concept of the unstruck sound. And there's something very mysterious about this energy encoded process that's very intriguing. But I think that's why, even when you listen to these tones without binaural beats, without the stereo headphones, I should say, that it really makes you just feel better. Like you can run any frequency and it just sort of lifts your mood. It just makes you feel better from hearing those really soothing sounds. And so would you attribute that to the energy encoded process?
I certainly would. And again, it's like, I'd love to be on my pedestal and, be on my pedestal here and say, oh, this is something that we created. It's really not. It's a process that a really good friend of mine, Garnett Dupree, has been studying for, oh my gosh, maybe 20 to sort of 25 years. And, we will get Garnett more and more involved. And again, I just want to be clear. I mean, this program it's a sort of collaborative effort of a whole group of individuals that have come together and said, hey, you know what, I can bring, I can contribute this, I can contribute that, and I can contribute this. And really, it just, to me, represents, such a new paradigm of ways that we generate frequencies, of ways that we can actually, stimulate the body, of ways that we can analyze the body. And it's just great to have, so many individuals on board. I'm actually humbled. I really am.
Ryan, that's amazing, and I really appreciate you taking the time to explain this. Is there anything else that you want people who are on the call today to know about the technology, or when they're thinking about investing, getting this for themselves or their family? Anything else you want them to know?
Well, you know what? I think the bottom line is, in terms of an investment, I recognize it is a large investment. I mean, let's not kid each other. Playing devil's advocate, if you end up going to a practitioner or a doctor or whatever it is, that can become sort of quite significant. The whole premise, the whole philosophy that we have is we want to empower each and every individual to be able to find their own wellness markers, to be able to find their own sort of path, walk. And you know what? Is it absolutely deal and end all? I believe it is, but to me, it's up to the individual to sort of take that step and to work with it and look at the results that come up and basically take that, each and every day. It sounds like a pretty sort of, sort of generic terminology, but equally, it's a product that I've been involved with for 5, 6, 7 years. I've been involved in this industry for 15, 16 years. And it is a product that we feel so passionate about. Honestly, if it's not working for anyone, send it back to us. Send it back with questions asked. Thanks for coming. Thanks for work out for you. Just on a side note, we've had this kind of offer for the last 4 or 5 years for those people that have invested $15,000 or $20,000 in a product. I said to them, look, before you invest that kind of money, spend $1,000. If this doesn't work for you, I will refund your money, A. B, if you decide to invest $15,000 or $20,000 on another product, no problem. I will cost you this off that. And Ariel, guess how many people have taken us up on that?
How many people?
0 as in 0. And then over 5 years, and for whatever reason, I just think it's got to the point that You don't need to spend $15,000 or $20,000 to get the results that you're looking for. Things are changing. Technology is changing. We're progressing. We as a sort of human nature are moving along in sort of such a sort of progressive state. Gosh, get on board, get the app, take a 30-day money back, make yourself well, make your family well, and that's my 2-minute sales pitch. How does that sound? Good?
That sounded fantastic. Yeah, I think people really feel the truth in that.
No, honestly, it's such a great product. I use it every day. In all fairness, I develop it every day, and I'm being bombarded, each and every day with the frequencies. So I mean, honestly, what do you have to lose?
I love it. It's true. So you're cutting out a little bit, Ryan, but just to let you know again, everybody, that there's a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. So for yourself or anyone you're recommending this to, we have no problem if people get this and they're unsatisfied. They can return everything. We just deactivate the software, but we really don't have anybody who really takes us up on that. That is a very, very, very rare occasion, and I've been doing this for almost 4 years now. People really love it, and they use it every single day, and they use it for themselves and for their family. Okay, Ryan was sort of cutting out a bit, but it was really great to have him on. He is the developer. A lot of you know Ryan personally. This is a very high-touch company, whereas if you wanted to send Ryan a suggestion or recommendation, you can do that right to his email, and I'm going to put his email right down here if you do want to send him anything. I am a distributor. I do a lot of training. I do a lot of support. I feel passionately about this program because it gives people such a sense of empowerment, and that's really all I ever really wanted to teach people as a health practitioner, is how to empower themselves. If I can teach them something about nutrition or something about herbs or something about physiology, and that makes a difference in their lives, then I feel like I've done something really important to me, and this is a part of that because it's part of empowerment. It's how people can help themselves in a world where they feel very, very helpless when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to taking care of themselves. Knowledge is power, and understanding and knowing your energy field and what's going on with you and what's causing stress to your energy field is really, really powerful. Really powerful. So I just want to give you a few pieces of information both for yourself and your referrals, and then we're going to wrap it up in the next 5 minutes. So if you have any other questions for me or things that you want to ask about, things you want to know, then by all means, please do ask them, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. So first of all, Ryan's website is quantumhealthapps.com, and so that's being shown here. I've already sent you the link. You can go to his website at any time. You can refer people to the website. You can sign up for the affiliate program. If you sign up through the affiliate program, you'll get credit through Ryan's website. If you have somebody buy through me, you will get everything in terms of income you would get through the affiliate program. So it doesn't matter if they go through my website or they go through Ryan's website. We're going to say who referred you, and you guys all work with me closely enough that you send me your referrals. We know who's been referred, and we know who's purchased at this point. So this is my website. Now, on Ryan's website, on the company website, you're going to see the current specials, so you're welcome to send people to the current specials. What's going to happen, and Ryan has been really generous to let the distributors do this, is what is on the website, they'll always get a better deal when they go through one of the distributors such as myself. So what you see here, I'll do them one better than what's on the website. They can buy directly from the website, but just to encourage them so I can be their customer support, I can be their go-to person, I can take care of all the details. There is an incentive to go to my website, and I am going to make this much, much more appealing. I'm working on that. But basically, they get what I call the Basic Infinity program. So I'm not going to ever say that word again, but you know what I'm talking about. They get that package, which is where they're going to get the Genius Insight, and they're going to get that full program. Okay, and they're also going to get the Rife app. They're going to get the Geo wristbands. They're going to get the Relationship Harmonizer program. And the Water Harmonizer or the Quanta capsule. So they're going to get a great package from me, plus customer support, a 30-minute orientation and all of the warranties that Ryan talked about in terms of being able to get technical support, get all the upgrades. So again, that's a $1,097, $1,100 package, and they get bonuses galore. They get support from me. They get the wristbands. So that is the deal. And if you didn't get all of that, I'm going to be following up with everybody with an email. So you're welcome to be in touch with me directly at Ariel@awakentotalhealth.com, and I can answer all of your questions. We still have a really nice bonus program available for anybody who purchases tonight or over the next week, which is the Super Learning app that Ryan has created. And for anybody who's pursuing anything, learning anything, even like the app, the Super Learning app is really, really cool. I can show it to you. It plays binaural beats particularly for learning and for cognitive focus. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get this to cooperate again. So just know that that app, let's see if I can, let's see if that app is available. It's called the Super Learning app, and it plays a number of binaural beat technologies for super conscious, focus, for creativity. I think it's something like laser sharp focus or something like that. So I can't show that to you in the moment, but you can get that Super Learning app with any of these programs. So this is a good time if you have any final questions. There's my email sent to everybody. This is a good time to ask them. And we just have a minute here, you guys. There's a support call on Monday night. If you don't attend that, you should definitely attend that. You can ask me any questions. I'm always available for demonstrations. If anybody wants a demonstration, I usually can set it up with people that day. And remember that tomorrow night is the sales call. So email if you want, sorry, the sales associate call. So if you want to become an active affiliate, which is really called a sales associate, and you want really great commissions which go up the more that you share the program with people, then definitely come tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 o'clock Pacific, and I will be sharing more information about that. So if you don't have that link, then go ahead and email me, Ariel@awakentotalhealth.com. I can get you the link. Also remember to ask for the water harmonizer if you don't have it, and Ryan is going to be working on that loop, that continuous loop, which is something that's really great to have people watch while they're receiving the frequencies. So, or it's something that's nice to have them, relax when they first come in to see you, or when you first start to work on someone. So those, the water harmonizer has a lot of different uses in addition to structuring your water. So let me just go a minute over here. This is the Super Learning app. You get this as a free gift with the purchase of your program, and just takes a minute to load. So, okay, it tells you to listen, gives you the binaural beats library. Oh, yeah. Ryan, I don't know what's going on with that app, so we'll find out. But certainly we're going to get it functioning and working. Okay, everybody, thank you for attending this evening. Bring your referrals next week. Anybody can come in and jump in for a demonstration. I really appreciate you being here. Go to my YouTube channel by typing Ariel Policano into YouTube. Subscribe to it for the latest videos coming out about the Genius Insight. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Be well. Take care. Bye-bye for now.